Welcome to Powercoat Music. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the Behringer EURODESK MX9000 48 by 24 channel mixing console and why I still use it. In 2002, Behringer released the EURODESK MX9000 mixing console, which was an upgrade of the MX8000 board. At that time, the MX9000 was Behringer's largest mixing console. MX9000 met with mixed reviews, with some folks hailing it as a significant step up for Behringer, and others criticizing the unit for different reasons, depending upon who you read. Now keep in mind that Behringer's reputation was very different back in the early 2000s than it is today. So why did I buy the EURODESK MX9000 back then? Well, in the early 2000s, I had a lot of disparate gear in my studio like many of you. My mixer and my budget at that time were extremely tight. Well, my mixer's changed since then, but my budget has not. But anyway, at that time, I desperately needed to upgrade my mixer to one that met and exceeded the inputs I needed for all of my audio gear. I also needed something that allowed me the flexibility to route my signals any way I saw fit. I also had to have a unit with a bass platform that had professional features that would allow me to build on my skill set as a recording engineer and producer. Hey, I also needed something that allowed me to produce transparent and professional mixes. That's never going to change. Last but not least, I needed something that was affordable. With this, EURODESK MX9000 delivered the inputs, channels, and routing capabilities the same as analog consoles that were more than 3 times its original retail cost. Now, I chose the unit because it met or exceeded all of my requirements at that time. Now, for almost 2 decades, I have used this board consistently to record and master all of my music. My EURODESK MX9000 was transported from Washington State to California and was deployed in over 3 different studios in California, including this one, and the unit has never faltered. What can I say? That's just a fact. My MX9000 was always driven by an Alesis RA100 amplifier and protected by a Furman power conditioner. Now that may have added to its longevity and reliability, which was what it was designed to do. As opposed to other EURODESK MX9000 owners who have reported various issues with their units over the years, I have had 0 problems with mine. My unit has been a workhorse and is still going strong today. From my perspective, if it ain't broke and you're getting the sound you want, don't fix it. However, based on the unit's reported maintenance history, I don't recommend the EURODESK MX9000 console to anyone because you never know what you're going to get with these older units. The point of this presentation is to share the reasons why I use it. With this, let's jump into the features of the Behringer EURODESK MX9000. In this presentation, we're going to analyze the console's features, technical specifications, along with its primary and secondary channel buses. Let's analyze the EURODESK MX9000's features. EURODESK MX9000 is a 48 by 24 dual input 8-bus console. It has 24 inputs and 24 inline channels with mic line and a mix B tape return path. The mic line path includes balanced mic line inputs, invisible mic preamp, pads, inserts, and a 4-band EQ with 2 semi-panoramic and mid-frequency bands. I like that. You have 15 dB of boost or attenuation and a low-cut filter, along with 6 aux sends are available. You have your pan, pot, solo, and mute functions and full routing options, which I like, along with 100mm faders. The Mix B tape return path features dedicated 2-band shelving EQ, pan and level controls, a mute function, and access to aux sends 3 through 6. The master section includes extensive routing and monitoring options and control up to, or should I say control of, the 8 group buses and stereo main bus. Precise LED meters can display A or B channel paths and various buses. That I really like. All crucial inputs and outputs are balanced, and the entire console is based on the ULN circuitry. External rack mountable power supply is also available with this unit. Let's analyze the EURODESK MX9000's technical specifications in detail. First, we'll start with the main channel strip. Now, within this section, we have the mic input section. And in the mic input section, we have the mic EIN specifications along with the THD, distortion, gain range, and max input. The line input section for the main channel strip includes specifications for the gain range and max input. After that, we have the channel fader range and aux send gain range specifications. Moving on, we have the equalization section. Now, this includes the specifications for the high shelving, the high mid sweep, the low mid sweep, the low shelving, and the low cut filter. Moving on, we have the channel direct output section, which consists of specifications for the max output, the noise at unity gain, the output impedance, and the tape returns. The next section specifications include the channel inserts, which we have specs for the main, or should I say the max in and out, along with the channel to channel crosstalk specs. After that, we have the all-important mix B channel strip specifications for that section. This includes the gain range, the high shelving, and the low shelving. After that, we have the subgroup section specifications, which consist of the noise specs, the submaster output max out, the submaster, or should I say submaster insert max out, and the submaster insert max in. We also have the fader range for that section. The main mix section includes the specifications for the noise, the max output, the aux returns gain range, along with the aux sends max out. Moving on, we have the specifications for the general section, which includes the distortion, the THD, and the frequency response. Next are the specs for the external power supply and the dimensions and weight for the unit. Let's analyze the Behringer EURODESK MX9000's channel strip, the bus, starting with the input section. First, we have the mic line button. Up selects the mic input, down selects the line input. Next is the -20 dB pad button. This lowers the mic signal by -20 dB. What follows is the trim pot knob, and of course this sets the channel input level. Next is the flick button. This replaces the tape or input source that's taken from a tap from the main channel, post-pop mute, and pre-fader. Let's move on to the equalizer section. The first knob is the high 12 kHz knob. This is a Behringer shelving frequency for treble. Next is the high mid knob. This provides a 15 dB of cut and boost. The same is true for the 650 frequency knob, provides a 15 dB cut and boost, and the same is also true for the next two, which is the low mid knob and the 100 frequency knob. Both provide a 15 dB of cut and boost. Next, we have the low 80 Hz knob, and this is a Behringer shelving frequency for bass. What follows that is the EQ in button. This is an A/B comparison between EQ'd and direct signals. Next is the high pass low cut filter button. Now, this is a slope at 12 dB, that octave, and also it provides a -3 dB at 75 Hertz. Let's move on to the aux sends. Now, all of the aux sends are post EQ and mono. The first two knobs, the aux send 1 and the aux send 2 knobs, are both dedicated pots that can be taken from a point before or after the channel fader. Next, we have the pre button. Now, this enables the switchable pre-post fader in 2 different banks. And then we move on to aux send knobs 3 and aux send knobs 4. Now, aux send knob 3 is the main pot for 3 and 5, and the aux send 4 knob is the main pot for 4 and 6. Next, we have the Shift button. This determines whether buttons 3 and 4 or 5 and 6 are addressed. After that, we have the Pre button. This enables a switchable pre-post fader in 2 different banks. Following that, we have the Source button. This is the switch for between the main mix and mix B. Let's move on to the routing and muting section. First, we have the peak lead. This is, of course, a peak notification. After that is the pan knob. This is the left-right, of course, channel signal routing. After that, we have the minus 20 dB signal lead. This is the minus 20 dB notification. Next, we have a solo button. This solos the channel, which is followed by a PFL solo lead. This is the solo notification, lets you know it's on. After that, we have the mute button, mutes the channel. After that, the mute LED is the mute notification, lets you know it's on. After that, we have the subgroups. And the first is the subgroup 1 and 2 button, which routes the signal to subgroup 1 and 2. We have subgroup 3 and 4 button, routes the signal to subgroup 3 and 4. Subgroup 5 and 6 button, you got it, routes the signal to subgroup 5 and 6. Subgroup 7 and 8 button, routes the signal to subgroup 7 and 8. After that, we have the main mix button. Now this routes the signal, of course, to the main mix. The channel fader sets the subgroup and main mix levels. Let's move on to the B channel controls, and this, of course, is the secondary channel. First, we have the high 12 kHz knob. This is the Behringer shelving frequency for treble. We have a low 80 HC knob, which is a Behringer shelving frequency for bass. After that, we have the pan knob, of course, the left-right channel signal routing. And then we have the level knob, which controls the level for the channel. Next, the mute button mutes the channel, and the source button, when activated, the signal becomes the A channel and can be controlled by the mute switch and post fader. Now we'll move on to a high-level view of the rear of the Behringer EURODESK MX9000 and see how the inputs are grouped together. The primary routes to a digital multitrack recorder are via the subgroup outputs. There are 4 stereo and 8 mono subgroups, which are numbered 1 through 8. Every main channel can access them all, along with the stereo 1 and 2 aux returns. There are subgroup output jacks on the console, and each subgroup output is duplicated so that the unit can interface with up to 16 tracks via the grouped outputs without the need for repatching. Subgroups can also be routed directly to the main mix for submixing. In summary, I have used the Behringer EURODESK MX9000 as my primary mixing console for almost 2 decades, and as an economical learning console, it has proved to be a great purchase for me. Now, I've been able to significantly learn and grow as a recording engineer using this console. Its rich features and functionality have removed the mystery of how larger, expensive, and more complicated mixers are used. When my Behringer EURODESK MX9000 dies, I will sincerely mourn its loss, knowing that it helped me to improve my recording skills and produce some great sounding mixes along the way. Well, that is a wrap. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and click the subscribe button on your screen now and join our group. We have new videos coming out every 7 to 10 days, and we would love to have you be a part of our team. Also, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about this video. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify as well. Now, while you're here, before you go, listen to some of the music, watch some of the other videos, and especially the playlist set up for you. Check those out. Let us know what you think. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you soon.